Okay, welcome to another video. We're going back to some functionality. I might also just append this to the original video on this, where we implemented some IP-based suspicious activity detection. But one of the things that came up when we were implementing this functionality was that we need the ability to add and remove IPs to our database that may be suspicious. So that kind of led me down this rabbit hole of needing like a company admin user. So this isn't for customers, this is for me at this stage. But if my idea takes off and I had a company and had administrators helping manage our customer accounts, and they needed to be able to set and do things. So what I want to do is we're going to ask Claude. Actually, maybe. Yeah, we've got this for. Is this the chat? It's been a while. No, these are. Just bring this over here for a second. Sorry, I just got to application. Okay, cool. This is the chat. Trying to think of a good name for this model. So I'm not really sure. Kind of user is given it will just be administrators from my company, i.e. the one making and selling software. The naming convention needs to be differentiated from that of our users, our customers and users. What naming convention would you recommend? Okay, there's no real I mean, it's saying that the pro is that kind of says that they're administrators within my company, but some people could misinterpret this as like it's a company, as in our customers, admin user, which is what I'm trying to avoid. Might go with this internal admin. So we're going to ask Claude. We are going to tell Claude a lot of what we've done from ChatGPT and get it to create some of this functionality for us. So I need to create new functionality. It is important that we continue to use our use the same approach for validation and error handling, which is defined in your project knowledge. In summary, this is leveraging validation chains and to manage our validation requirements, and async await error handling available from Express.js v5, i.e. we don't want to use try-catch blocks. The functionality we are creating is for an internal admin role, i.e. this is a person who works in my company and requires access to our application in order to perform actions on behalf of our customers. At the moment, however, the functionality is needed to be able to add, remove blacklisted or whitelisted IP addresses. Yeah, so as part of our IP-based suspicious activity detection. All right, so let's say to start with, what do I want you to do first? So I'm just reading ChatGPT to see what we prompted it with before. Okay. To start with, I want you to create a new user model called internal user. This internal user needs to be very secure. So I was considering the following. Then we will create a separate admin auth file. So perhaps something like this. So that we can specifically control what routes are accessible by this internal user. Okay. Can you advise any other best practice before you write the code? As we will also need routes, controllers, and services for adding, removing, updating this, adding, removing, updating these users. Interesting. So this looks pretty good. API key rotation policies. Okay, so let's look at the model first. So we've got our internal user schema. We've got email, password, role, super admin, IP admin, user admin. That's good. API key, MFA. Yep. Secret backup codes. I don't know what does it mean by that. Backup codes. status, login history, login attempts, allowed IPs, yep, password history, audit log. Okay. That's the password encryption. It's comparing the passwords to make sure when they log in. This is logging login attempts. This is logging the admin actions. Okay. The internal user model looks good. Before writing more code, can you please explain? I don't know these two things. What these considerations mean? Okay, API key rotation is a security practice where access keys are automatically or manually changed. Okay, so that makes sense. This is the in the model. Got an API key, so we provide them with an API key. Hash-based message authentication. Client creates a signature. The client creates a signature using. Interesting. I'm not really, yeah, this is all new to me, so I'm not sure if we can kind of test this stuff using Postman. Okay. Okay. Okay, yes, let's proceed with writing all of the backend code. Please ensure we use a modular approach and separation of concerns. You have in your project knowledge details of my preferred folder structure. If there is a need for validation chains, let's make sure these are labeled as separate from our existing users. Please also create jest tests for all of the functionality you create. Do you have any other questions before you start? Yep. Yep. Yes, all the file structure and files you are creating looks great. Yes, let's create new error types. Yes, let's add that. for testing. I'm not too sure for testing. Updation. I will leave this decision to you based on industry. Alrighty. So it's adding new error types. This is our internal user validation, so we're separating that from our common user validation chains, which is great. I think that's going to avoid a lot of issues, and also allows us to do things like have different checks. It's got our API key rotation checks. All right, this is the HMAC service. Again, I don't know anything about this. So it's some form of encrypted signature to validate the user and their actions, from what I understand. I think we're, with all of this, we're probably going a little bit overkill with our user registration login backend, but still don't have an idea that I want to pursue with this startup. So while it's writing some code, yeah, I think we'll just, with kind of the requirements that are left, we're going to make our way through these pretty quickly in the next few videos, and then it's just a matter of getting all of the jest tests written, and then we should be good to go. All right. Yes, please proceed. I'm just going to get it to write all of the files first with the API key service, session management, components, controllers, routers, services. This is our API key service. This is the test for the API key service. All right, this is a session management service, again for our internal users. So it's got some form of function. Oh, no, don't improve. I wasn't trying to tell you to improve. Some form of functionality for inactive, maximum number of concurrent sessions, so you can only be logged in on one device. So checking the existing sessions. Okay, interesting. Continue. Okay. So I hope it did that session management service correctly, because it kind of stopped. We'll have to check that. Yeah, it doesn't look like it wrote that whole file. We'll double check that. Okay, this is our internal user controller. So we've got create the user, log the user in, log out, rotate API key, update user status, update allowed IPs, get audit log, get sessions, terminate session, terminate all sessions. Yes, please. This is writing a bunch of functionality. This is great. All right, our routes. So it's a public route, but with rate limiting and HMAC validation. So our login, our create, and the super admin only routes. And then yeah, session management routes, audit and monitoring routes. Wow, great. This is the validation middleware. This is our internal user service. So why is it done as a class? I'll have to ask you that. Yes, please continue. Alrighty. I don't know why it's making these as classes. I'll have to ask it that. Yep. These are the tests. Where's our service? It's written a heap of code for us, which is fantastic. So hopefully it all works. Yes, please continue. I'm going to have to cut it there from my end. I need to go do a few things, but I'll be back a little bit later on and we'll start implementing this code, and I'll just append the video. So I'm going to hit stop record, and then we'll come back and we'll look at these files once they're completed, but I will record as soon as I'm back at my desk. Okay, we'll continue with this. So Claude finished running that, but didn't finish writing all of the code, so we'll just hit continue. Okay. Doing all of our testing. It's written a lot of tests. API documentation. Okay, so it's even doing our documentation. Awesome. Okay, fantastic. So let's go to the top and run through this. So where's our internal user model? Internal user model. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to bring Claude over here, and we will start implementing this functionality. So models. We'll call this internal user. All right, so this is copy, paste, save that. That looks all straightforward, so we don't need to really look too much at that. Alrighty. Okay, so we need to create. We need to add some additional error types to our error types file. These are so we've got our different errors for suspicious activity, internal auth error, HMAZ validation error, session error, IP whitelist error, concurrent user session error, API key error. So a couple more there. We've got to add these to our exports. Save that. Then we've got a new file for validation chains. So we have validation chains here. It's created another folder in its file structure, so I'm going to do the same. Actually, no, because then it. Oh no, we will. So validation chains. Okay, so copy, and this is going to be called internal user validation.js. Internal user validation.js. Save that. All right. We've now got a separate components folder. Let's close a few of these up. So in our components, we're going to call this internal -users. And in here we have the HMAC service. We do need to no, I don't think we need to import any new packages. So this is .service.js. Save that. And we've got some tests. So hmac.test.js. Just look at this for a second. Up to utils error types. Okay, it's never used. So just looking at these tests, done our service. I don't see a reason why these tests would not work now. So let's try it out. So we are going to go into our components folder, and then we're going into internal -user, and then we are running hmac.test.js. What have I done here? Coverage components. Users, internal users. Okay, so one failed. Expected it to be under 1 second. It received 0.7. Sorry, under 0.1. It received 0.7. Okay, we'll fix that up later. All right. Then we've got our API key service. So we're going to also have this in our internal users. It's going to be API key.service.js. Copy this. Just check the imports. So we're going up 1, up 2. Yep. That looks fine to me. I am going to ask. I am adding our API key service file at the moment. Why? Explain why we use a service, a class. We use the class component for several reasons. The class maintains configuration values that are used across multiple methods. Okay. That's fine, so it makes sense to use a class there. API key service tests. So same file, same folder, API key.test.js. Same thing here. Most of these tests should pass. So if we go API key.test.js, we'll see how they're going. Session manager. 5 failed, 5 passed. We do have these things wrapped in try catch blocks. There's only one though. Alright, we'll have to come back to the test. The session management service, it didn't look like it completed. Can you check that you provided the entire for session.service? Yep, so it didn't complete the full file. Okay. Session service tests. Session.test.js. Save that. Let's run this test as well while we're at it. That's good. They all passed. All right, internal user controller. Internal controller. Okay. Copy and paste. Save. All right, let's just have a quick look at this. So create our internal user. Call that service. Log in internal user. Log out, rotate API key, update user status. Okay, allowed IPs, fantastic. Log. Thank you. Okay, then we've got internal user routes. And then we've got HMAC validation. So in our middleware, HMAC validation.js. Alrighty, copy, save that. It does have a try catch block, but it is, I think it's wrapped in a promise. Still got next. Okay. Internal user service. Copy. Oh. Okay, so actually I'm going to ask it why are you using class-based components? We haven't done that with our other services. I'm not as familiar with class-based components, so I'd prefer not to use them. Yep. Okay, so it is also saying we just refactor our API key service too. So there isn't actually a reason to use class-based components. Okay. Yes. we might need to refactor our code, our tests, sorry. Okay, copy that. Save. Yes, refactor the remaining files and then refactor all tests as required. All right, so HMAC service is getting refactored. Copy, save our tests. I'm quite interested to see how this functionality works, because obviously we've asked Claude to do quite a bit in essentially one go, right? Do we need to refactor the API key.test? Okay. Just refactoring our API key test file. All right. Okay, now it's going to refactor our session.test file. Validation chains. What else do we HMAC? Cool. Might bring this over here so you guys can look at something at least. All right, that's our session service tests. Where are we? Save that. All right, so if we go back to where we were, internal user service we changed, so oh no, our internal user service is still a class. So before that we're doing the HMAC validation middleware, that's changed. Okay, now please update our internal user service to getting this code. All right, copy, save. back here. Scroll up a bit. Internal user service. Now internal MFA service. Okay, please refactor our internal MFA service and internal MFA tests. It's a bit annoying that we've got to get it writing all of this code twice. It's then probably going to say it's run out of bloody chat messages. Alright, so within our internal users, we have a new file called mfa.service.js. I can see that this is going to get confused with this. I'm going to tell it, I'm going to say, so you know we've renamed this file. For your info, I have renamed these files as internal mfa.service.js and internal mfa.tests.js to avoid confusion with our general user mfa service.js functionality. Alright, so internal MFA service. Far out. Continue. Right, copy. Internal. Internal mfa.service.js. Alright. And then here, internal mfa.test.js. And then it was still writing. Fantastic, we've just hit our limit. So, and it didn't quite continue on this file correctly. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to stop it there. I didn't get to send it that message, so I have to keep that open so I don't forget. And then if we just go here to our documentation. So all requests except login require 3 headers: your API key, current ISO timestamp, and HMAC signature of the request. So login authenticates the new user, completes the verification with an MFA token. Ooh. We need to check if our MFA service is sending an email. So let's bring this over. Does our just send an email with the token for our new internal users? Okay. We can get our list of internal users. Rotates the user's API key with a grace period. Updates the user's allowed IP addresses. That's pretty good. Terminates the specific session. Gets an audit trail for a particular user. Got our rate limiting. Testing. Cool. Okay. That's pretty comprehensive. What I'll probably do though is get Claude to explain in detail how the functionality all comes together with this HMAC service, how the API key service works, just to give kind of a good overview. So what we've got to finish off is obviously putting in the last of these files. So I think if we scroll up to we're up to here. So internal MFA service tests. Then we need to do our IP whitelist middleware, our IP whitelist middleware tests, and our internal user integration tests. I was thinking of maybe just switching over to ChatGPT to finish this off, but then Claude's going to not know what we've done, and I want to try and avoid that. Obviously, we then need to run all of our tests and get all of those working. For now, though, what I also want to do is just check, like look at a couple of these things. So implement password strength requirements. We don't encourage periodic password changes. So if we go to our validation chains in not that one here, so for passwords required must be 8 characters, must contain at least 1 uppercase, 1 lowercase, 1 number, 1 special. So if we look at this, we've got the strength requirements, but we don't have encourage periodic password changes. What we're going to do is we might just go like H4. H4. We can't do H4s. Okay. Password functionality. I'm going to do like H3 session management. So password strength validation we've already got because that's in our validation chains, so we can tick that as done. We don't need to worry about that. Right, session management, encryption. Okay, so then we are going to have like general app requirements. We are going to move these two here, and then we're going to have user H3 user management. So soft delete, schema methods. We can ask if there's anything else. Why isn't that unbolding? Encryption. Consider encrypting sensitive fields in the database for added security. What else would we encrypt? Maybe the email address. Let's do H3 security. Okay, so we can get rid of this to do. Then we'll do H3 deployment. So we've got our CI pipeline. We can get rid of that for being later. All right. I need a little more space between these things. Okay, then let's look at this. So password / login. Okay. What else have we got? So we've done all that before. We'll call this set of points to consider user authentication app enhancements. So we'll go actually we had hang on. Just put this here for a second. So user login, send email saying their account will be deleted. Yeah, did we do that? So that's going to be in our email service. Send final reminder, your account will be deleted. And then in account deletion service, delete unverified account, and our scheduler service, delete unverified account. Okay. These errors are all just prettier things. When they come up. All right, where are we? So that all happens. Then we might just change this from password and then put that here. Password strength. But it's not just strength because we've got. Alright, forgot password. Implement email-based multi-factor authentication. We'll separate that out. So H3 multi-factor authentication. We need to check if the MFA token is from. I can't remember if we changed that, so we will have to check that. And then this was H3 user profile. And then this is our security stuff. So let's just cut this for a second. Stick this under security. Not all of it's security, I know, but we'll get to that in a sec. Okay. Search management. We have added more health checks to app.js, but they haven't been committed yet. Soft delete schema methods. Okay. Encryption. We haven't been able to test that yet. Create company. So this is our internal user. Yep. Yep. This was. This was best practice on our internal user. Okay. This is logger functionality. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to move these two things under general app requirements for now. Cool. And then code reusability. What was some of the stuff here? So, token management service. So I think we should add to this central token management service. I think we have fixed this with like a lot of our debugging on the error handling and having a consistent response. We don't need that. Email template based system. What are they? Email templates. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Email template system. Validation middleware factory. I think that's been handled with our validation chains because we do have validate request. Create a reusable validation middleware factory. We will check. Database transaction wrapper. Add a reusable transaction wrapper for operations that need atomicity. What does this mean? No idea. Oh, that's interesting. So make sure that all operations within the transaction will succeed together or fail together. That's a good idea. So prevents partial updates that could lead to data inconsistencies. So we will do that. Database transaction wrapper. Add. All right, authentication, authorization decorators. What does this mean? Require role, require verify, yeah. Wouldn't we already have that? So if we go to our internal user routes, we have calling authorize. I think this might be an alternate approach. So require role is a function that takes an array of the roles. It checks if the user's role matches one of those fields. So pretty sure authorize super admin to access these routes. And then in our authorize, if the user role does not equal the role, it throws the error. And then protect routes. So I think we might be already, I know we're doing some aspect of this. I don't know if this is an alternate approach. We've obviously got require role. I don't know if we're doing this part. So what I'm going to do is I'll add this to our project and we'll put a question mark. All right, code reusability, reusable service base class. Yeah. So I've done this before in a project where you basically create a service where you have like a common create. So if you're creating a user or creating a task or creating any form of functionality in your app, like if you have a task management app and you're creating a user or you're creating a task, or say you're creating a task category or whatever, task due date, anything that requires a create, it kind of gets channeled or piped through this base service first. I'm not going to be very good at explaining the benefits, so what are the benefits of this approach? Okay. Show more detail. It's obviously about code reusability and everything. So what we're doing here is we're creating a complete user service. Sample user. Okay, so it's our base service. We've got our create, find by, find all, update, delete. So all of the common functionality that we've been seeing in our application. We haven't done much delete yet, but we've updated things. We've been finding users by ID. We've obviously been creating users. And then you've got our user model, so just name, email, password, role is verified. And then we've got a user service, so we've got our own user service already. But instead of functional based, a functional based approach to our code, it extends the class. So again, I'm not too familiar. Well, I have used classes, but not very extensively. So class user service extends the base service. So this just extends what we already had up here. So it's adding an additional method, so find by email. Okay, verify, user service. So user service dot update password. Like, does it have update password? Yeah. So wherever things are specific to, like, with the say you had a task management tool, obviously you can create a task and delete a task, but you can't update a password on a task. So if that service doesn't exist in your base service, you extend whatever service it is, in this case the user service, to add that additional functionality, is my understanding. I guess everything gets piped through that base service, so I don't think we're going to do that for our app. I don't know. Let's ask base service. We can consider that. Man, our app's starting to get even more rate limiting. We can check that. Audit trail middleware. Yep. Cache service. Don't think we need that. Okay, so that's that. And then if we just look at our potential future ideas, OAuth 2 and social login. Yeah, we might do that. Compression. I don't think we're going to do this or this. yeah, I think we can leave all of those there for now. This is really the only one that I think we might add. Might cut that. Let's put that up here under user login. So if we finished off all of these things, I think we'd have a fairly robust application. We do need to add testing. We need to do check which files require tests, create tests for files, and ensure they pass. Well, it's not just files and / functionality, both unit and integration. Okay, I think we might wrap it there. It's getting late at night here in Australia, and then we'll come back to finish this off tomorrow after 1 AM. Update it so it knows we're doing these different services, and then we've just got the, forget what other files we had to update, but we'll update those files. We've got to get the test to pass, and then we will ask Claude the best way of just to explain how this whole system works. Anyway, thanks for watching. It's another couple of hours work on this, so yeah, appreciate it. Okay, this is a continuation of the previous video where we were creating this new internal user functionality. Now, I had this message left here from before because we need to tell Claude that. And I'm just going to refresh my screen though so that Claude knows we're past that time. So now that we've done that, I'm going to make sure it knows that I rename those files. Let me just close a few of these things down. Okay, cool. And alrighty, so great. Okay, cool. Now, what we need to do is we need to, there's the IP whitelist functionality. Yeah, so please know everything is now good with the file rename. I need you to update our IP whitelist middleware to not use class-based components. Following that, please update the IP whitelist middleware tests and internal user integration tests accordingly. As well, given we have refactored our code not to use class-based. Okay, let's get that. Then we do need to go back to the other tests, the internal MFA service tests, because they weren't fully provided. They weren't written correctly. So going to pull this over here. Let me just, yeah, we're recording. Where are we? Yep. Okay, cool. Right, IP middleware. IP whitelist middleware. Did we create that before? No, I don't think we had, so that's good. So IP whitelist.js. Then we are going to copy, paste this in. Yeah, okay. Save that. And the IP whitelist middleware tests. So IP whitelist.test.js. What are we mocking? Copy. What are we mocking? Internal user.create. Okay, we're just mocking the request for a specific IP. I think that should be fine. I want to use real services wherever possible. And then we've got our internal user integration tests that Claude is currently refactoring. So we are going to call that internal user.test.js. Whoa. Right, we'll copy that. And then one more final thing that we need to do. We need to say when you provided the internal MFA service tests, you did not provide the full file. Can you please redo this? Okay. Where is internal? Oh, hang on. This should be up here. Save. An internal MFA test. Okay. Hang on. Oh, it's still generating. It still ran out of copy. What's that? Okay. All right. I am super conscious that Claude will freak out. Hang on. Internal MFA. We'll fix that. All right. So I'm super conscious that Claude may freak out and use up all of our functionality again. All of our chat tokens again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new chat and try and get it to take off from where we finished. So let me go to desktop, and we've got to upload some of these components. So we've got our internal user component where we need to upload those 12 files. Then we also have our additional middleware. So middleware, where we have the IP whitelist, IP detection, HMAC, and auth validation. No. Drag those. Then I'm just going to delete some of these older ones. So why is it frozen on me? Okay. So then what I want to do is middleware. Okay, so I want to delete authorize validate request error middleware. I also want to delete our user, error utils, error types, error utils and error types as well. So delete selected. So auth, authorize, auth validation, error middleware. Drag those over. Then validation chains. Then utils, error types, error utils. Then didn't see email. Oh, we got email validated. Okay. And then our models, our user model. Why is it frozen? And then suspicious activity. Okay. IP list internal user. Okay. Now we're going to say previously you helped me create. Oh wait, we also need components internal user. Okay, we've got our internal user service routing controller. Help me create a new model called internal user. This is a user who is an admin of the platform, not an admin of the individual customer company accounts using our SaaS application. The role of this internal user is to be able to do things such as update our IP whitelist or blacklist. In addition to creating this user model, I should say internal user model, you created the routes, controllers, services, additional internal user validation chains, and internal user MFA functionality. Equally, for the security features, we have new files for IP suspicious activity, IP white and blacklisting, HMAC, which I don't still really understand, HMAC, API, key rotation, etc., etc. Can you review these capabilities and explain back to me how they all work together and the function they perform? Okay, it seems like it understands everything that we did, which is fantastic. Okay, does this new internal user functionality leverage our email service to send an MFA code? And is it leveraging ethereal mail? I always forget while we are testing in development. Okay. Awesome. It does already do that. Okay, how would I create a new internal user with Postman? Tell me the APIs I need to hit and the data I need to pass in. I'll just get it to do that. Should be fairly straightforward, but just want to make sure that we don't miss anything. Okay, so how do I okay, only existing super admin users can create new internal users. Well, how do I create my first super admin user? Okay, how do I create the very first super? Okay. 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 So we've got a few things to do here. Again, this is all completely new to me, so I'm quite interested to see how this works. So in our environment variables, we need a few new things set up. So don't currently have those. We do have front-end URL. And yeah, we'll keep that. Okay, save that. Now for our endpoint, we need to hit that. So open, where's Postman gone? We'll do a new post request to localhost. I'll bring this over in a second. Copy. All right, and then it's saying in the headers, content type, application Node.js, yep. Where are we? In the body, we'll put superadmin at test.com. All right. So bring this over here. Let's. Oh, hang on. The server's not currently running because of. I don't know why it keeps doing this. This is really bizarre. Every few days, my IP address obviously changes, and I've never had that happen when I've been using Mongo before. Anyway, let me just quickly sign in. I'll add current IP address. We will save this to restart. Okay, looks like our server is running. We will go back to Postman. We will hit send. Okay, reference error not found. Not found error is not defined in app.js. Oh, okay. So we need to bring in we bring that in from email, here we go. So from our utils error types file, let's just go back to app.js. Just put that in. We don't need the validation. This is going to be just there. Save that. I think it's still going to fail. Route not found. Internal. So in our routes file, yeah, we're not bringing it in. So we've got internal. Wow, so many files here. Internal users routes. So just checking we've got this one, which is /internal. Create users, log out users. Okay, so if we go to Claude, we will tell it in our internal user routes file, we don't have a, hang on, this is the wrong chat. Yep. In our, I know I can just add this myself, but I want Claude to be aware of what we don't have. In our internal user routes, there isn't a route for /internal. And we haven't imported it, but I can do it. Is it? And why is it adding to validation chain? Oh, it hadn't created the functionality at all. Okay. Copy. Sorry. Okay. Where are we going? Let me bring this over here. Alright, so validation chain, internal user validation. We've got new. Why didn't I like that? So we don't need the const. We do need the closing square bracket. I hope, yep. And our internal user controller. Okay. We need initial setup. Save that. And our service. We need that. Save. And then in our index.js file within our routes, we do need to add internal user routes. We need to add that. Okay. Validate request internal user. Where are we using? Validate request. Const validate require. Validate request. What's this? Argument handle must be a function. Index. What doesn't it like here? Not too sure. What does this? Yeah, so it's a internal user routes. Oh, hang on. The controller function initial setup. Oh, my bad. Okay. No. Internal. Did I not put initial setup somewhere? Ah, my bad. I put it in the wrong file. That's why it didn't work. Working too quick. Okay, internal user controller. Save that. Okay. It is still saying there's some validation. Internal user routes. Internal user.controller. Yep. Okay. So for internal user service, maybe we hadn't exported that. Perform initial setup. Perform. Am I going crazy? Did I put that in the wrong file too? Oh my god, I did. Put it in email verification service. God damn it. I don't know how I did that. And then why is it still not happy? I made okay, internal user routes. Router.post setup. Internal controller. Why is it already been displayed? Oh no, we already have it yet. Body router, express router. So say here is my I just want this functionality to work. It's a simple error. Validation chains referenced. Why not importing them correctly? Internal validation chains. Middleware validation chains. Internal user validation. Initial setup. No. It's exported. does say to make a few changes to this file. Okay, so there's an error there. Alright, let's try this. Woohoo! We've got our super admin created. And it said we need to save these two details. So what we're going to do is snip. Take a little picture of that. Copy. Project overview. No, that's Mongo. Where is... I'll just stick that in our Notion doc for the time being. Alright. Now, come back to internal user. Alright. What we know before is that a lot of these tests were failing. So let's start with session test and work our way backwards. Okay. So 2 failed. What we're going to do is go to our great, that worked. I'm just wondering if we start a new chat. No, it's not very long, so I think we can. Keep going. So we've got our session tests, and I'm going to say, great, that worked. We are now checking our test files. Our session.test.js file is below, is attached. Let me bring this over for a second actually so you guys can see what I'm doing. I feel like we're getting into a good flow with debugging the tests, and we're going to say, instead of writing code, do not write any code yet, but explain why we are getting these errors. Is it a bug in our code, or are the tests not structured correctly? Alright, there are 2 issues in our tests, not in our implementation. Expired session test error. Okay. Okay, yes. Please give me the code, updated code, showing the updated code for mocking the date. For number 2, yes, compare the time stamp values using get time. Oh my god. It's a bit gross. A fly just went up my nose. Oh. Alright. So, we are looking for, originally it should reject expired sessions, so it should reject expired. Okay. Has it just given me the whole file? No. So add that to our tests. Save. And then yeah, so 1, let date before all, after all. Okay. So we do need to add that up the top. And then hang on, no, describe session service test user, yeah, real date. So let's just put that in there, and then real date is, okay, that's new, before all, save, before each, and after each. Okay. And then get this. Just check. So, yep. So this expect to be greater than. Is that? I'm just wondering. There's 2 expect blocks in that in this test. So I'm just let me just read for a second. Just do the 1 for now. I should. Oh no, it does them both. Okay. And then I did notice here, session management, that's the same, but then up here, it should reject inactive session. It should reject inactive session. This has some different code too. So copy all of that, save that, bring this over here. 2 failed. Okay, that number's exactly. So this one, I think it just needs to be greater than or equal to. The other one, I think it's in how the response body is being provided. So, okay, we now see I think that should be a simple fix for the second one. Okay, so in our session.service, we need to go to validate. So active sessions, validate session, create session, validate session, get user ID, yep, log it at 1. Throw, yep, yep. Okay, this is the part here, this check expiration. So, session.expires that, yep. And also these 2 things. Okay, so expires at. Save, and then refresh session, terminate, get session, refresh session. Okay, let's just copy and paste this whole thing. And then also create session, create session, slightly different. Where's create session constant? Other method remains the same. Create session, session ID. This is quite a bit different. Let me just run the test. Okay, why? This is our current create session. Are we sure we want to update it? Okay. Good old Claude, validate session. Right, so I'm gonna change validate session to be this. Save that. So what's it saying? And refresh. We're also making some changes, so refresh. Save that. Right, let's run it again. Okay. We now just get this there. I want to finish this chat because we're starting to get this warning. Yeah, I know. Okay. Add a small delay. No, slow down. Yeah, let's just. Let's do this. All right. Refresh. So. Session duration is not defined. Session duration is not defined. Where did we? Where does it expect session duration? We haven't defined session duration. Let me think about this for a sec. When did we? I've seen it. So in our functionality we have this. So they should really be environment variables, I imagine. Woohoo! Everything passed. All right, fantastic. So session test worked. Now let's do internal user. I don't think our internal user test currently tests for the original user. What do we got here? Require. I don't even know what this is. It's a time-based. Okay, it's one-time password library. So npm I. Okay. API key. So let's do test one. It does have a test. So in our response by data, super response result dot body. Let's just see what it logs. False validation failed. Okay. Setup key is required. Invalid setup key. So setup key. Internal validation, host, setup, internal, initial setup, setup key. Doesn't actually do anything with the setup key. Okay, so new chat. I am currently looking at our internal user.test.js file. You have helped me update our internal user route controller and services file to be able to create the first super admin user without needing to input an API key in the header. What I want to do is first of all ask why in the initial setup function we are trying to extract a setup key from the rec.body, but it is never used. Is this an oversight? Okay, oh, there is the setup key. Okay, yeah. Yeah. So actually, let's just copy this. Okay, cool. Save. And then setup validation. All right. Initial. It's called initial setup key. Yeah. Okay, and then in our services file, perform initial setup. already doing that. Okay. Just for your info, the validation is function is called initial setup. Initial setup in my project's validation files. Okay. I'm just going to run the test again. I still expect them to fail. Yeah. Okay, so with the functionality, I will now provide you with our initial user routes, controllers, and services. Don't do anything yet. Here is the routes file. Don't do that. Oh. Are you serious? Let's try. Oh man, it's not going to know all of the other files too. Oh, this is so frustrating. Alright, time to stop the video. Man. What is... Why can't I use Sonic? Sorry. Is it going to work? Okay, I think we might be in luck. No. Claude, come on. Please don't write any code. I am just giving you files. Here is our controller file. Please don't write any code. Here is our services file. Here is our current internal user.test.js file that was written before we change the functionality in routes, controllers, and services. Are there any other files you want to see before I ask you to write all new tests using jest? I gave you those above. Oh my god, we've got 3 messages remaining. How can you overcome these limits? It is so crazy. Someone recommended Cursor, and I tried it before, and I hate the damn tool. Let's try again. Internal user.test. This file needs to be rewritten as it doesn't account for all of the functionality we have in our internal user routes, controllers, and services. Can you please update the test file accordingly? Wherever possible, we want to use services from our app rather than mocks. Okay. Let's apply that. Okay. Is there a way? How do you just like accept all? These. What doesn't it like here? What's this? Save. What doesn't it like? Okay, terminal. New terminal. So we want to go npm test components / internal users / internal user.test.js. I missed this. Accept that. I'm so confused. Save. What else is it? Oh, these are fixed. Okay, they were just pretty errors. Okay. QRC code. What's QRC code? Internal MFA service. QRC code. Where are we using that? Generate QR. Okay. We haven't used that functionality, so I didn't realize we are using a QR code. npm QR code. Obviously it's QR code, not QRC code. Doing. Anyway. Okay, so invalid setup key. We know the reason from before. Ask follow-up. So we have updated the tests. We now get an error that a setup key is required and that there was an invalid setup key. I believe this is, no, let's just see what it says. Can you advise on fix? Before what's this? Okay. Okay. We now get these errors. I get the advantage of Cursor because it should theoretically have knowledge of your whole code base, right? But it's not like, I don't know, I guess I was expecting, like, from what everyone's been saying, like, of how good it is, I'm just expecting it to have more context straight away so I don't have to kind of remind it. But anyway, let's do all these. Save. I think these are just prettier. I think so. All right. Okay. We now only get these. The error occurs because we're not getting the expected response structure from the login endpoint. Okay. Handle, two-step, yep. Yep. Okay. Apply. Okay, sorry, I've got highlighted. prettier. Okay. Oh man, still failing. The same test still fail. The same test still fail. Give it one more chance. Just quickly accepted all those. Alright, I'm just kind of speed running through this. I am really interested just to see if Cursor's going to do a better job. I did forget to save it. Shit. I did forget to save, I think. Okay, 7 failed still. Yeah, it should. Internal user test. Why? Should handle. It's quite frustrating, isn't it? Alrighty. Try one more thing. Some tests in this internal user.test.js fail. Can you tell me which ones you think will fail handler? So it didn't actually guess which. Didn't actually get right which ones are failing, just by reviewing the code. I don't really. So what's on it? Let's do. How do we go back to our previous chats? Previous chat. Can I change this to O1 preview? I currently get these tests currently fail. One mini. Maybe it's just me, but I really don't like I actually don't like the interface of having the chat directly in VS Code. I'd love it. You can probably pop it out. Open chat editor. Yeah, I kind of want to be able to talk to Claude or ChatGPT the way you do in just a normal chat interface. So I can ask it just general questions while giving it the ability to point directly at my code base and see every file, which I know Cursor's doing. Like, it says it can look at all my files, but so far I don't actually feel that it grasps. I don't feel that it grasps the files better than just Claude does, having them in the project knowledge. And I don't know what's happening now. This thing's just stuck thinking. So we're going to see if this works. Then I might stop the video and figure out what I do instead, because yeah, it's super frustrating that we only get a handful of the ways into creating new functionality and keep running into these issues. Where are we? Can you fix the issues causing these tests to fail? Oh my god, super frustrating. Alright, clearly this isn't working. I just had an idea. Can I don't know why I didn't think of this. ChatGPT also has a knowledge base. Let's try this. No. Oh, they do. Okay. Where are they putting the files? Can I see them? Did that work? Upload. Open. What's happening? Configure. Upload files. This is upload one. Okay. Can't do them all the time. This is gonna be annoying. Can I do like 3? Good. Let's do 4. Okay. So that's got everything so far. Then let's go to email verification. I don't know how many files you can upload to their knowledge base. So far, so good. All right, let's go to, we've done internal users. Let's do login. let's do MFA. Yep, let's do password reset. I think that, yeah, got the, and MFA service, MFA controller. Okay, got the 4 password files too. Let's go profile. Let's just do 2 at a time. Yep. Right. Something went wrong. Okay. Keep showing that error error saving draft. Whoa. Let's give this a name. Node.js backend project. Let's create it just to make sure. Can't save it. Damn it. I wonder if it's too many files. It's a real pain. Let's try again. Create. Let's give it a name. Auth backend project. Upload files. Let's start with components. We'll just keep throwing files at it and see if it does the same thing. Okay. I think, yeah. Must hit like a file limit. Really annoying. How many files can I upload to ChatGPT? 10 files. Could I write some code that automatically consolidates all of my code into one single file and places headers in the file so that you know what the actual file would contain that code, i.e. user.service.js heading code heading user.controller.js code, etc. That way I could give you all of my code in one file. Okay. Can I do this with Node.js? Okay. Okay, my source directory has a lot of subfolders though. Okay. Let's try this. So we will add a new file. Can you update the code to exclude our .env? What are we going to call this? Consolidate code, I guess. Consolidate code.js. Oh, it's got, okay. All right, so let's copy this, paste, and we need to put our directory. Do I am having this script in the project source itself. Okay, we'll just do that. So saying it's going to, this script will create a single file with, so you would want the name to be different. Okay, anyway, let's try this. npm consolidate code.js. Bring this over here. Oh, sorry, not Node. npm. All code has been consolidated. Geez, that was quick. Wow. Okay, let's try this out. New chat. Preview. Why can't I attach things? Oh, can't. Mini. What? Okay, upload. This file contains the code for my Node.js backend project. In the file are headings which tell you the separate file name in my project, followed by the code that is in that individual file. Can you please review the what were we working on? Internal user tests, right? Internal user.test.js file. JS code, and advise on the updates that need to be made so that the code works correctly, and let's split it. See how good it is. Yep. Can you please provide the updated code? I don't want to mock external services wherever. If this works, I'm going to be a happy man. Don't tell me you've tried to connect to our Mongoose database. We are using test setup. Where are we? Please update the code to take account for the fact we are using Mongo memory server. You should be able to see this in our code. It is in the file /test/setup.js. You don't need the before all, mate. Stop. Look at the setup.js file for our tests. It already has the Mongo memory server.create functionality. So MFA.service. It actually needs to be internal. I think if we updated our script, be a bit more specific, it might work. I don't know. What's this? Okay. Let's just say the tests failed. He fixed these errors. Please fix the code. I think it's a test error, so it was already an array. Silly. It was already an array. Okay, there was a duplicate. Still not going to work. But if we can get some to pass, I'll be happy. Oh dear. I tell you what, ChatGPT is pretty terrible at that. But let's see. Desktop. What did it say? That's fine. Is there any oh my gosh. So annoying. It's like almost feel like paying for 2 professional plans. Okay. We will stop here. It's really annoying. Alright, I'm going to stop now. Thanks for watching.